Hi, welcome to Tea Time at the Movies. I'm your host, Tea Time. Got a great show for you guys today. We got 4 movies for you, 4 reviews. They are Weapons, the new horror thriller mystery, Freakier Friday, Sorry Baby, and East of Wall. Those are the ones I saw this week. Welcome to the show. We put up the banners. How are you guys doing? I'm doing good. Saw 4 movies here. Let's go ahead and get on with the reviews. First up here, Weapons, the new horror, mystery, thriller kind of movie. It comes from writer-director Zach Kreger. This movie is rated R. It's 2 hours and 8 minutes. The plot, I'm just going to read the plot here before I spoil anything. 17 kids go missing. That's basically it. There's mystery surrounding that. At the beginning of the movie, it's narrated kind of by a child, and he says, based on a true story. I looked it up. It's not based on a true story. That's just kind of to get you into the story, I guess. The writer-director, Zach Kreger, he did Barbarian, was the only thing I recognized, which was okay. This one was much better. So basic plot, 17 kids go missing. I won't really spoil the ending or anything, but there's a witch in it, and basically the kids go missing because of her, and how the town discovers what happens. And there's a cop storyline, there's Josh Brolin's storyline, Julie Garner's storyline. Well, let's get to the cast. Julie Garner plays Gandhi. She's the teacher of the 17 students that go missing. Josh Brolin plays Archer. He's one of the parents. Alden Ehrenreich plays the cop in the show who has a relationship with Julia Garner. Benedict Wong plays Andrew. I think he was like the principal of the school. And based on that cast, are we making a horror movie or a Marvel movie, right? Am I right? Julie Garner, come on, Silver Surfer, Josh Brolin, Thanos. Aaron Eckhart was just Mr. Ironheart, right, in that show. Benedict Wong plays Wong in the Marvel movies. How do you get that role? It's his name. Other prominent actors in this was June Diane Raphael. She's a very small part. Justin Long plays Gary, one of the parents. He has a very small part. Toby Huss plays Captain Ed. You'd recognize him in other stuff. And Amy Madigan plays the witch, Gladys. And it's revealed pretty early on about the witch. Not much mystery. That doesn't really spoil anything, but later on, she certainly comes into play. It's all right, let's go. So I'll start off here. This was a good movie. This was a T-Go-See. It was well shot, well directed, good sound design, good sound mixing, good score to the movie. You didn't really tell throughout the whole thing. That's when it's good. It retells kind of the same story through like 5 or 6 different perspectives. Like each person gets their perspectives. Julia Garner gets hers at first, then Josh Brolin, like the events that happen, kind of they play through it in each different perspective. The principal Wong gets one. Everyone gets one. I don't want to spoil those particular things. But good acting. All the acting was pretty good. Josh Brolin was good. Julia Garner, good acting. And the kids were good. Good kid acting. One maiden kid. The 17 other kids, go missing. You don't see too much of them. But this is why we burn witches, because of this stuff that happens in this movie. The bad of this film, it was the title of the film, Weapons. Really, I know why it's called that, but for the whole story, it's kind of a poor title. So another bad, but the 5th or 6th time I go through telling the story, you're kind of like, my God, we're going back to the very beginning. It gets a little tired, but the last time they go through it is, it kind of just plows through instead of telling it any other storylines, like going back to the beginning of the story where they kick in. It gets a little tired, but it is worth it to watch through the whole thing. But one note they could have said, for the last storyline, I won't reveal which one it is, but they reveal by each person's name. So they could put the person's name the finale or something. So they'll let the audience know that, this is the last time we're doing this and we're going to plow through here. It is 2 hours and 8 minutes, a little long. It's rated R. There is some real gruesome gore and horror in this, like fighting type of stuff that kind of hard to watch. I turn my head away sometimes, but if that really turns you away, you'll know when to look away. But there is some very bloody, gruesome stuff in it. There's a good payoff at the end. I won't reveal any plot twists here, but good payoff at the end. One bad thing about the movie, or note, they didn't show the witch's perspective. They showed everyone else kind of how the story moves and all the main characters, but they didn't show the witch's perspective at the end or any of the chapters that show the people's perspective, which could have helped, but also 2 hours and 8 minutes, it felt long. Had they added that, my God, they would have added 15, 20 more minutes to this movie, which I'm kind of, in retrospect, glad, but also, they don't really reveal why the witch did all that she did, which is why we got to murder them. We don't know what they're doing or why. Well, this reveals what they're doing, but not why. I mean, okay. It would have answered a lot of questions had they showed the witch's perspective, but, me leave it up to mystery. That's another way to tell the story. Well, no, here they use Justin Long. He's a very good actor. He's no stranger to horror. I think he was in Barbarian, this director's last movie. Maybe he just turned down a role or something, or didn't have time to film, or a little too long. Well, here's a spoiler here. If you really want to know how it is, the end and the kids, it ends with the kids ripping apart the witch at the end. So they get their she gets her comeuppance. They get their kind of revenge. I won't really reveal how that happens, but they tear her apart. But how they get out of it, I'll leave that up to the story. So they kill the witch, and everyone is lost or not in control of her spell or whatever. But they don't really explain. I mean, they do explain at the end. They say, a lot of the people are still like kind of comatose, but one kid can talk now or something. Can we end this story a little more positive? Like all these kids went all through all this, and now they're still like in their zombie mode and whatever. Well, sometimes life is hard, but if it's a made up story and the ending is just kind of like where they kill the witch, but everyone's still under the spell, kind of like that's not very good ending. Ended better, ended more positive, I guess. But overall, it's T go see. If you like horror, goresome, mysteries, you like this. Very good acting. Couldn't think of a bad actor in it. Just kind of the story. They retell it, 6 or 7 times, 5 or 6 times. I don't remember how many, but it gets a little tiresome. But at the end, with the final one, they plow through it. If you want to know, it's the kid who's still it's a class of 18 students. 17 of them go missing. One's still there. The kid is the final act of the movie. So when you get there, you're only 20, 30 more minutes from the ending. So go see this if you're into horror. Very good movie. All right. Let's go to the next one here. Ooh, Freakier Friday. The new, I think it's a Disney. Freakier Friday, the sequel to Freaky Friday, about 20 years ago. This movie's rated PG. It's an hour 51 minutes. It's from director Nisha Ganatra and writer. There are like 5 or 6 writers listed, but I think 3 of them were from the prior movie. And I guess this is based on a book or a novel or something. But the 2 writers that look like the main ones on this was Jordan Weiss and Elisa Hollander. I didn't really see any credits I recognized. The plot, it's another body swap to learn, family lessons. So basically, Jamie Lee is the grandmother. Lindsay Lohan's the mother. Then there's the daughter and the stepdaughter. The grandma, Jamie Lee, swaps with the stepdaughter, the British Asian chick, and the mom and daughter switch again in this, but this time it's Lindsay Lohan and the daughter. I have the cast written down in the next one. I should have had that on here. This is very family friendly. It could even, PG. Okay, PG's fair rating. But if you're seeing a family comedy, you got with your family, it's a great movie to see. Nothing offensive in this. It was laugh out loud funny at times. Nothing really offensive in this movie. Nothing woke, nothing like that. Here's the cast. Jamie Lee Curtis plays Tess, the grandmother. Lindsay Lohan plays Anna. her daughter. Julia Butter plays Harper. She's the daughter of Lindsay Lohan, and Sophia Hammonds plays Lily. She's the stepdaughter, as I'll refer to her, but she's the daughter of, gosh, I wrote his name now. Manny Jacinto. He was pretty good. He's a British Asian guy. I guess there's a lot of them. I don't know that. June Diane Raphael's in this as well. Big weekend for her. She plays Veronica, but she has a small role. Stephen Tobolowsky plays Mr. Bates. Ex Mayo plays the principal. She was pretty funny in her scenes. And Vanessa Bayer from SNL. She plays Madame Jem, kind of the lady who enacts the spell or whatever. She was pretty funny. She had a few scenes. She tries a little too hard, but she is funny most of the time. So this was definitely a T-go-see. Freakier Friday. Especially if you like the first one, this is definitely must see to see how the story continues. They leave it open for, maybe a sequel. Maybe Lindsay has another daughter because they're getting married. Lindsay Lohan and Manny, Eric, who plays Eric, the husband. This movie was shot well. There was good acting, very believable that, Jamie Lee plays a Asian British girl. I think they're in high school. I'm not sure what year. Lindsay Lohan was great. It's great to see Lindsay Lohan's back. She's a great actress. She's beautiful in this. She looks fine. She doesn't look like a coked out whore anymore. The two teenage actors they're probably in their 20s, but they were pretty believable. They were pretty good as the daughters. And the husband was good. He didn't get too much in this movie. He could have had more. He was great. Let's see. Great family story. It keeps it moving. It doesn't stop to think about the plot, or that too much. There's a lot of laughing. I laughed out loud. Jamie Lee Curtis is hilarious in this, especially when she first turns into the old lady. They swap bodies and all the, oh, my face is all wrinkly. And, there's one point where she can't get up. She's like, I'm telling my body to get up. And I told it again. I can't get it. That was pretty funny. The bad. The overall story doesn't make sense. How are they swapping bodies? But you get over that. Especially with the stepdaughter and Jamie Lee. Why do they swap bodies? The Asian girl and Jamie Lee. They're not blood. And they weren't all even in the same room as Vanessa Bayer when she tells them the spell or whatever. Maybe tie that up a little bit, but this is a comedy, wacky comedy, laugh out loud funny. Go see it. Well paced. There's nothing really to spoil. This movie's under 2 hours, which was good. Maybe it could have been a little shorter, but it's fine. Lots of laughs, lots of fun. You're going to go out, fine, happy with it. There's a good, at the end, Lindsay Lohan concert scene again. I guess that was from the first one. I don't really remember. I saw Freakier Friday probably in theaters when it first came out. So go see this movie if you want a family comedy. It's PG, so, nothing really offensive or anything like that. But this was definitely a T-go-see. And let's go to the next one. We got Sorry Baby. Pull up my notes here. Sorry Baby is rated R. Some heavy content. Hour 43 minutes. It's from director, writer, star of the movie, Ava Victor. She seems to be some sort of from France, since she's from Paris. I don't really recognize any of her credits, maybe foreign films. One of the posters looked like it was in Hebrew, so maybe she's Jewish. I'm not sure. I don't recognize any credits, but the plot, let me just read the plot. Something bad happened to Agnes, but life goes on for everyone around her, at least. So Ava, the director or star of the movie, she plays Agnes. Her best friend, Naomi Archie, plays Lydia. Lucas Hedges plays Gavin. He's from Ben is Back, so he's recognizable. He's been in a lot of stuff lately. And the only other person I really recognized was Kelly McCormick. Natasha, she plays like a fellow student. So Agnes is a student. She's trying to get a job at this. She's a student, and she needs to turn in, or she's doing like a thesis or something for that. And the professor, and it's tied into her getting a job. It's spread apart in different chapters. They're all kind of surrounded by the baby that her best friend Lindy Hess. I'm not sure. Lydia. I can't read my own handwriting. The best friend. She's black. She's perfect. She was good in it. She's good acting. So, but overall, this was a no thanks, not for me. Going forward, I'm going to spoil it if you really care. Let's start with the good. It was well shot, very pretty looking. The acting was good, but that's about all. The bad, the directing. Most of it was well directed, but they hold on shots way too long where nothing is happening. Like the opening shot of the movie is just her house, Agnes's house, and then eventually a car drives up and parks in the park. It took like 2 minutes for that. What am I watching this 2 minutes for? There's a lot of holding on to things for too long. This movie felt like over 2 hours. It didn't feel like an hour 43. So the basic story, plot twist here, or not plot twist, but the crux of the story is she gets, the R word. She gets sexually assaulted by the professor. And it's kind of the events surrounding that. And after that, there's just like plot holes I noticed. I don't know if the story was bouncing around where like they told like the later part of the story first, and then like bouncing around. But like Agnes had a cat at the beginning, a big cat, and then later on she gets a kitten, and then those two things don't make sense because they didn't mention the cat before. Her best friend at the beginning like has the baby. The baby's like 4 or 5 years old, and then later on the story, she's pregnant with the baby. So I don't know if that first scene was later, but it didn't seem like it should have been, or make it more obvious. There's no time mentioned in this. Like what? Just a little confusing, little plot holes. Another like her best friend is like perfect in every way. She says all the right things at every moment. It felt more like maybe the story was based around true events, but going back with a 2020 or she changed the story or like added the best friend at times where she probably wasn't there or different friends were there. I don't know. It just didn't mesh all well together. They didn't show the incident of what happened. They just show like the outside of the house for a few minutes, her walking to the house, her going to the car, her driving home with absolutely no dialogue or like expression on her face. The only notes you get of the incident is her description to her best friend who lives miles and miles away, but then she's always there. So basically she describes it as so she's turning in like her thesis, right? And it begins with her at school turning in her final paper because she's a student in this professor's class in college. So she's in his office. He's about to give her grade, and he gets a call from his ex-wife or text or something, and he has to go pick up the kids. So he does. He barges out of there without giving her grade. So later on, she goes back to the office. He's not there, so she walks over to his house. She goes in. They begin, fooling around, and then he puts his hand on her pants, and she says no. But then she says that she then continued to kiss him, and then hands down the pants again. Then blah blah. Blah. It didn't sound like rape to me, but you don't show this guy's side of the story either. So that happens. She does say like he did penetrate her. So you can't tell if this girl is just like has Asperger's or something, or it's just socially awkward. Because the other girl in it, the redhead, what's her name? Kelly McCormick, Natasha. She's definitely awkward or has Down syndrome or something because she's very socially awkward. A lot of tics. Ava less tics, but certainly socially awkward. She's constantly by herself. Her friend constantly tells her to go out, or she should sleep with the professor. She also tells her to sleep with Gavin, who comes over at one point to her house. Maybe her friend kind of influenced her to go to the professor's house, and then she got sexually assaulted. They don't really touch on that. It's just how it was her fault. Or his fault, excuse me. Nothing on her. He just had a bad day, and now she's coming to his house to get her paper reviewed. Like, women, keep your work life and your student life away from your private life. Don't visit people at their houses. What do you expect is going to happen? Not bad, but wait till the next day. He has office hours. Then the next scene is, or one of the bad scenes is, she's in the doctor's office with her best friend again after the essay, like a day later. And the doctor comes in, and there's a form to fill out, and he's asking the questions on the form, and they're like, what's your tone with that? Also, her best friend is British somehow, black and British, and they know each other like in upstate New York or something. This movie, the scene with the doctor, like, watch your tone or whatever, like, you need to change your tone. Like, well, you didn't go to the cops right away. You waited a day or have you took a bath. What if you were essayed? All the proof went away with, what's he supposed to do? Like, okay, maybe a little nicer, I guess. But another bad thing, like, there's a scene near the end with her and her neighbor, Gavin, where they have sex, and then she's in the bathtub naked, and then he comes in, he's like, hey, can I join you? And she's like, yeah. Then she like stares at his penis for very long. Just show the nudity, show her breasts, show his penis. I don't care, but let's see it all. Don't have a sex scene or sex scene under the covers. Okay, whatever. But if you're going to be in a bath together and like she's staring at his penis forever, like, I don't care if you show up and show her titties. She's a pretty looking girl. Like, if you're going to have a scene, do it. Go all the way. Don't just be a woman and, be all bashful about it and not show anything. This movie was only for women. This was like a Lifetime movie, a made-for-TV movie. This plot doesn't go anywhere. When she tries to report the professor who essayed her, like, he gets transferred, and two women come in from HR or something. They're like, since you filed this at Tuesday at 3 p.m. and, he transferred on the Sunday before at 1 or something, they legally can't do anything because he went to a different school because he transferred or something. And, the movie makes you think like, oh, well, that's unfair. Like, total women thing, like, go get his job, go to the police if you're sexually assaulted or raped, if it's that serious. Don't go for his job. Like, my God. But, women probably have a different opinion. This movie is way for women, not for men. Not that there's not anything enjoyable about it, but the plot doesn't go anywhere. Stuff's not explained. It bounces all around. She only has one friend. I guess no one has parents anymore. Like, they all die in all these stories. Freakier Friday, the Lindsay Lohan, her husband dies. And the man she's marrying, the Asian British guy, his wife died. All these stories, like, no one has parents, I guess. They can call for help or advice. It all has to be a perfect bi black friend. Let me see if I have any more notes here. That. Not enough story. I mean, who cares besides what? If you're not going to show like the guy's point of view or what happened in his day, like, one-sided, way too long, then the plot doesn't go anywhere. So you can skip this. There's definitely not for like a date night or anything like that. There's way too heavy for that. So no thanks, not for me. Bad story. Not a bad story. It just didn't go anywhere. There was not enough story. She gets the job at the end. But then, like, her friend is always like worried about her being suicidal and things. Like, they kind of touch on things, but then they don't. Things are serious, but they're not. It's skip it. All right, last up here we have East of Wall. I thought I had a banner here. Maybe I accidentally deleted it. Boom, takes. I just created it. There, East of Wall. I saw this. East of Wall, rated R, hour 37 minutes. Comes from writer-director Kate Beecroft. Didn't recognize any of her credits. Didn't have that many credits. I saw this, the Screen Unseen, the AMC Screen Unseen. Was it like Monday or Tuesday? Just to get it, like, this was no thanks, not for me. This was another Lifetime made-for-TV movie. There's not enough story here. Let me see. Tabitha Zaminga plays Tabitha. Portia Zaminga plays Portia. Scoop McNairy plays Roy, kind of the savior. There's a lot of other teenagers in this movie. A lot of other mothers in this movie. No one really recognizable. This seemed like some sort of like country movie. The plot, without spoiling anything, it's just about her. Life moves on. The mother has many like adopted kids. She is like a horse rancher. She sells horses, but times are tight. And this guy Roy comes. He has a lot of money. He wants to put money to the ranch to sell horses because their partnership. They've sold a lot of horses with her daughter showing them and things like that. Seen the trailer, that's about all that there is. The good, it was well shot. These last movies I've seen have been well shot, unlike The Home, and I saw a couple weeks ago. Good sound, good soundtrack in it. Good sound mixing. Good acting. The teenage girls were pretty good. The mother was good. But the bad, there wasn't enough story. Spoiler alert, Natasha, what's her name, right? The mother, they don't show this. They do touch on it later in the story, but the father she was married to kills himself. There's a young, like 3-year-old baby that they had together. The main daughter and her, I think, I'm not sure. He was there. I'm not sure if he was the stepdad to all these kids. I think they do explain it, but it's not worth remembering. This was another just made for a TV woman. There's one decent scene in the middle-ish where a lot of the old ladies are around like a bonfire and they're telling their sob stories. This is where she reveals the husband killed himself. And they're just trying to hold it together after that event. It's a totally sad movie. You feel for these people. There's not much story there. It's just a stop story made for women. But nothing happens. The guy Roy comes in, they're having a good partnership, and then later she just says, "No, I don't want your partnership." I guess they're gonna show horses or do horse shows or something. There wasn't enough story here. No one really cared. One good part, the scenery was good. They shot kind of in like the Badlands or wherever it is, with a bunch of like salt deposits. I'm not sure that was real beautiful, but not much to this movie. Not much plot. This was a no thanks, not for me. Wait till it's on Lifetime or streaming on Netflix or something. I mean, if you want a sad tearjerker, you can certainly go see this, or Sorry Baby. It definitely was sad. Weapons, nothing too sad, but kind of gore horse on Freakier Friday. Little tearjerker at the end, with the wedding things, stuff happens there. So, two good movies this week: Freakier Friday, Weapons. Not sure why it was called Weapons. Better name for that. Sorry Baby and East of Wall. You can skip. So that's about it for this week. Thanks for tuning in. The T stands for truth, and that's a guarantee. I'll see you guys next time. Excuse me. All right, don't belch at the end of this thing.